So as a big fan of the ATEM Mini, I love the fact that it's allowing so many churches to become a multi-camera media ministry without spending hundreds and if not thousands of dollars to get everything set up. Now, there's no secret that I am a big fan of SDI cable and converting it over, but you know, sometimes when it comes to that, if you don't know how to terminate it, that can be kind of pricey. The cable goes normally like once you get over 35 to 50 feet, it goes to like $75 up to $150 for very long runs. So what the great folks at OREI sent me over an HDBaseT Extender, which I have used before, but this is a 4K version, to show you that there are multiple ways to extend and connect different cameras from long distances up to 400 and even 500 feet using one of these HDBaseT connectors over a regular Cat6 cable. So what we're going to do is test this out, as I'm going to connect this up to the ATEM Mini Extreme, as well as I'm going to connect it up to the ATEM Mini, the base, and just show you just for about $140 to $150, you can extend stuff up to have cameras or TVs or monitors connected up to 400 feet away, and you don't even need power. So let's go. All right, so I'm really excited about this. Again, the good folks at OREI sent this to me to test it out and really to show all the types of options that you have to connect different inputs into your ATEM, or you can use this as an HDMI out to connect to your projectors, monitors, and stuff like that, because that's similar to what I use this for in Charlottesville, to connect sanctuary output over HDBaseT into the fellowship hall that we did. So let's go ahead and cut over to the other camera here so that we can have a top down and see what's inside the box, shall we? And the model number, for those that want to know, is the UHD EXB400R-K. So let's go ahead and open this up. And we have our two units here. We have the receiving unit that has a RJ45, HDMI out, audio out, infrared in, IR out, and we have an RS232 connector there. And we have the transmitting unit, has the exact same, but there you have a loop out for the HDMI, if you can see that there. So you got an HDMI loop out, so if you have another close item that you want to use, you can always have a monitor set up to this. HDMI in goes from your whatever camera or vice versa, or your source, your switcher, whatever, and then RJ45. Now, the one thing that I learned with this is that this does POC, not PoE, but POC, which is power over cable, which technically is the same thing, but that's what they call it. So you only need to have power on either side and it will power the unit, which makes this so much easier, because like you can put this on the Velcro it, put some magnets on it, something connected to a projector that's in the ceiling, and you don't have to worry about power. All you have to do is have a Cat6 cable and then the HDMI out to connect to your projector or your TV, and that will work great. Now, what else we got in here? We got a whole bunch of adapters. You got your RS232 plug there. You got your IR readers and receivers. Audio, again, those are transmitters for IR. Have some mounting brackets there. And you have your plug. And you have your adapter. Now, they sent this to me. I only have the US one, but I think this does work with international plugs. Just make sure if you're purchasing one that you get the right one. All right, so that's it. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and set up a camera in my daughter's room and then connect it to the ATEM Mini Extreme and just show you what it looks like. And I got a long Ethernet cable around here somewhere. And then we're going to push it to the max. We're going to see how long of a run we can actually get on our input with this. So let me go ahead and set up the Canon G20 in the other room, and then let's see what we can do. All right, so we have our return here, and I already have a cable that's going from my laptop going into my ATEM. So we're going to do the HDMI out from there. And then I need to get a Ethernet cable because we are set up in my daughter's room. So let me, and this one is already connected. Let me get a longer one. All right, so let's go ahead and connect this here. And let's connect this to the transmitter. All right, so we got everything connected and we know it's working because if I cut over to my laptop input, which is number 5, we have a crystal clear shot of the water tower that is outside the window of my daughter's room. So really, really cool. Now, I only pulled a cable that's maybe around like 30 feet. But what we're going to do is push this to the max and see. But honestly, before I do that, let's switch it around. And what I'm going to do is hook this up to my TV that's right behind me and see how that can work in reverse to where it's actually, you could use this to send a signal somewhere else. All right, so now that we got our Sony on, let me turn that towards the TV so that y'all can see it. And let's switch over to that camera. And now what we're going to do is switch these around. So we're going to be having the out go to this TV. And I need an HDMI cable. There we go. I need to make sure I don't have the sound on because we really don't want to have a lot of feedback here. All right, let me unplug the camera here in the other room. All right, so we got this here, and we're going to connect this to an output from our ATEM. So I need another HDMI cable. So we're going to come from input in here. So that would be line in. And I am using my field world as a confidence monitor so I can see what's going on. So y'all are going to see the output from that. And then we just need to plug it in for power. And do I have a free jack here? No, I don't. So what we're going to do is switch to power on the other side instead because I don't have an outlet that's free. Which I really, really like that you can switch this on either side. All right, so we're going to plug up here and plug that into the wall. All right, so there's no power on this side. So if we look, we can see that we are now getting power, which, like I said, you can switch it on either side, which is really cool. So now let's turn the TV on. That way we can see what we're getting. And where's my remote? Oh, there it is. Oh, So let's see. And there we go. There's our multi-view, which is what is coming out of what I'm sending over here. So that's really cool. So y'all can see all the inputs that I normally see when I'm recording this. So you got to think, you can use this for anything, especially with your ATEM, the ATEM Mini Extreme. You can have this set to always output at a certain input if you want to. So if you have announcements or something like that coming into your ATEM Mini Extreme, you can just set the output to always display that. So if I do that right now, and say that I just want to output only the ZV1. So that's output number 2. I'm just going to say I only want that camera to go. And now that's the only thing that you see on that monitor. So that's really, really cool. Let me switch that back because this is for my multi-view. So really slick. That you can, and the thing is, you can use multiple of these. So just like I normally would talk about where you use the convert over to HDMI to SDI, that is an option. But each one of those adapters are around $50 to $60 each. And then you also need the cable to go in between. If you're not making it yourself, it can go to another $75. So you're at $175 right there, not including the HDMI cables that you need on both sides. So going to traditional SDI, if you route and converting it over, that gets you up to 300 feet, it's going to cost you around like $200. But in something like this, you can still have the HDMI cables, have the converter. It goes for around like 110 to 150, depends on which one that you get. You can go up to 400 and then sometimes even 500 feet because it's doing its own different type of protocol. Now, I've been using their regular HDMI extenders that can go up to 100 and 115, 160 feet, but to add the HDBaseT to it, that would give you a much further distance if you really need to go that far. If you need to go any further than that, now you're talking about fiber. And then honestly, if you're trying to connect anything almost like 500 feet, almost like a football field distance between the camera and something like that, I don't think this would be an option for you. But if you want to push it to the limit, you can if you want. But it's nice to give you another option. You don't have to worry about converting and having power on one end and power on the other end. You can just have power on one end. It will send it over the cable and it can give you a good distance, and you can connect a camera to it, or you can have the output going to a display or anything like that. So again, that is the OREI HDBaseT Extender. And it does support 4K, so that's really cool. But again, I have it showing up on the TV. I can get it to 4K, but the ATEM Mini Extreme only accepts and converts down to 1080p, so I can't test it like that. But that's really cool. You know what? One other thing I did want to test is to see, do we get around HDCP? Because I had somebody asking about that. That's the encryption that goes over HDMI. You wouldn't want to play movies or Blu-rays or nothing like that, but just letting you know. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the other end, hook this up to my PlayStation, and then let's see what we get. All right, so let's see. What do we get? Turn this on. Do we get an image? I think by default it is set up. Not getting an image so far. Oh, there we go. So let me make sure. I'm still playing some games there. Let's go ahead and make this full screen here. And let's test our settings here. HDCP is on. So let's go ahead and turn that off and let's see what we get. And boom, there we go. We're still getting the image. So it supports it with it on or off. So that is cool. Now, obviously, we can't play any type of content because YouTube or any of the other services will say we need to have that feature turned on. But, I mean, it's good to know that you could run something on the other end of it. And I guess let's go ahead and try. I just want to see what will happen if we try and just bring up Disney Plus and see what it says. All right, so we need to have it enabled. Okay, so that proves it right there. Let's go back and turn it right back on. All right, back to Disney Plus. And I'm not going to play anything long enough to get in trouble. All right. So, I mean, it's going good so far. All right, I'll play a trailer, and I'm not using any audio or nothing, so I shouldn't get in trouble. But yeah, no issues. Playing perfectly fine. So that's cool to know that it supports either one, but depending on the service, is obviously going to ask you to re-enable it. But again, thank you so much, OREI, for sending that out to me and testing it out. That gives you another solution for your ATEM if you have long runs that you need to connect it to. It is rated up to 400 feet. I didn't get a chance to test that distance, but I mean, for the normal distance that you would want to do, because I mean, again, we're not talking about PTZs. You could have a PTZ connected to it, but some of these are manned cameras and you want to have at a far distance. Or maybe if you're running a PTZ and you want to send the video over Ethernet and you need to send control, it'll be 2 cables, go that way. But that is an option for you. I was using this with the ATEM Mini Extreme and it works perfectly fine. Just make sure, honestly, this is just me personally, use a Cat 6 cable or higher for stuff like this. You could try Cat 5e. If you're going to go for especially distance and stuff like that, or you even attempt to do this with 4K, go with Cat 6. It just, or higher. It just save yourself the headache. But anyway, link is in the description if you're interested in getting one of these. Reasonably priced, especially compared to any of the other options for any of that same distance that you would have to go. So one more time, thank you, OREI, for sending that out to me. And hopefully that helps y'all with other type of connections to get your cameras or computers or screens or whatever like that set up. So if you like this type of content, I appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ, and we will see you on the next video. Later.